What makes a good scan?
What is a selection?
What are layers?
What is resolution?
What is a JPEG?
What is TIFF?
What is RGB?
How do I crop a picture?
What is a zoom tool?
What is a clone stamp?
What are levels?
My name is Eric Basir, and I have produced this unique photo restoration and retouching foundations video course to answer all these questions and more. In my classes and workshops, I have taught hundreds how to preserve and restore their personal photographic collections with Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Photoshop Elements. Now you can have me as your personal instructor in this 10-lesson course. After studying the videos and easy-to-read workbook, you'll finish with a firm foundation of how to use Adobe Photoshop or any other photo editing program confidently and correctly.
Good morning, and welcome to another great show, another great class of Ask the Retoucher. That's me, Eric Basir, and I'm here at your service. If you are a student of mine, welcome back. And if you are just a knowledge seeker or a curious person, welcome. And just you should know that this is an open forum. There's nothing here regarding photo retouching, color correction, photo restoration, Photoshop in that context that we can't discuss. So let me turn my screen down a little bit here. There you go. Just like in photography, video has exposure issues. You always want to keep that in mind. Brighter things tend to draw the eye away from the subject, especially if that brighter object is not the subject. So it's important to have different elements in your image that are attractive, yet one part of that image should not upstage or distract the viewer from the main subject. Why do I bring that up? Well, if you are making pictures, you make the picture with your camera, or if you're working on pictures that are already made, you have to be conscious of lighting. You have to be conscious of element of focus. You have to be conscious of texture. And there is another element known as perspective, but that tends to come into place with element of focus and sometimes lighting. Lighting is indeed affected by perspective. For example, if we have something far in the background, colors tend to be muted, tend to be lighter, especially if they're not in focus. When we are working on our pictures, we want to keep these things in mind all the time. You can have all the programs in the world. You can have, Photoshop. You can have Photoshop Elements. You could have CS5 or CS10 or whatever it is they're going to come out with next. GIMP and PaintShop Pro, and you can have everything in the world, but none of it is of any good if you don't know the basics. If you don't have a firm foundation of what it is you're dealing with. And you can't get that from the programs. Programs are merely tools. It is important that you learn the basics on how to use the tools and where they are appropriate. You can use a screwdriver to pound a nail into the wood. You could take the butt of the screwdriver and bang like that, or the handle of it. It might shatter. It may not work 100% of the time, but it's an inappropriate use of the tool. I think that if you have a good teacher, you have a guide that will show you the way of using these tools, you can learn much faster, more efficient. And that's why I'm here. So we have courses and we have books and all these things. But the most important thing is when you're learning that you ask questions. And you cannot get answers to those questions from the software. You can search it on the internet. You can Google it, as they say, but can you learn it? Can you learn it? So everybody should know the basics of photo retouching, especially in this world in which anyone and almost everyone has a camera. So much so that you have people contributing images on such a huge volume to other resources on the internet that you have websites that now can show you some part in the world, and most likely someone took a picture of it, you know. And you could go anywhere. You could look at any obscure place on the planet. And if someone's been there and taken a picture of it within the next, 5 to 10 years of this show that you're watching, after, you will be able to just go anywhere, virtually, from the comfort of your home. Well, I don't like to talk too much, but one thing